Hey, hey, hey. Welcome, welcome. I'm here with Tatiana and Michael, and this is the discussion of One Blood by Denene Millner, which is the Read So Lit summer read um, for July. So I see no one in. I see five people in the chat, but no. Oh wait, I see there's Tatiana, but I think there's five people watching, but they're not talking. Okay, hey Teresa, you there? Welcome. So, before we get started, let's just first talk about this book as a whole. Like, what did you think, Michael, as a whole? Don't get into
Uh,
details now. Just give me a whole.
uh, Overall, I enjoyed it, but I think there are high highs and low lows for this. I don't. There's some parts in here that I felt like it dragged on, which is the middle
Okay.
portion. But we shall get
The
into it.
middle
The Lord.
portion. Like, what's the
Yes.
middle portion?
Book
What
two.
in particular?
Book two,
Book
which
two.
with
That's
Dolores.
With
Dolores.
Lolo.
oh no,
Lolo.
oh
Dolores.
no,
Yeah.
no, ça va pas, no, no, no. You see, you got me in here speaking French now. No, that ain't gonna work.
Sorry. But I really.
No, no,
But
no, ça va pas, no.
Hey, buddy.
No, 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 no. You're
Whoa.
wrong, Michael.
That's
But
not what
okay,
I was expecting. That's not what I was expecting, and I'm looking
this
I
forward
wasn't
is.
to.
expecting that either.
I
Share,
think.
share. Over with your share. I need to share.
I think the beginning of this is excellent. Like the beginning with Grace, I think it is excellent. I was like, oh, I was in. And then when it gets to Dolores, I was like, okay, what's this about? But then I felt like that was just too long. I felt like it was,
Mm,
and in my head, I was thinking, if you cut out the middle book, I think you would still get the same effect.
No, you wouldn't.
I
No, you
feel
wouldn't.
okay.
Like, how you think that?
yeah, you're not normally
Come
the
on now.
opposite. I am enjoying this.
I
How you figure
I
that?
there are
How
just
you
things
figure
in
if you
the.
cut
I
out
think there
the
are
middle,
just
you're gonna get the same effect? How you figure that?
because I okay. This might just be me, but my favorite aspect of this were the dreams. I love that part. Like
Mm,
I love that aspect of the whole book, the magical realism of it all. I was like, oh, this is excellent. I think the book kind of loses focus in the middle for me. For me, 'cause there are some parts in there where I was like, oh, I feel like it didn't do anything for me.
So what did the end? What did the last section do for you then?
It tied it back to Grace, which I enjoyed. I like Grace because she started.
Michael just wants grace.
Well, for me, you can't have one without the
Well,
other.
with
But
Ray.
then
Well, the last part was
sue me.
Ray,
What do I
which is
know? Sue me. I don't-
the last part was Ray, and so that connected to it. The thing though is, I completely get, like, I understand, and I can see the point of like this one blood aspect, especially the way that when we get into it, how the three books almost have like a repetition to it that like it really
yeah,
drives home the essence of family, which I did enjoy,
yeah,
and especially with
yeah,
like all the men, which were awful. I was
yeah.
like,
The men were
oh,
pretty terrible. They were
yeah,
pretty terrible.
each and every single one of them, and I was like, oh, I get that, and I think it was. I mean, I guess we're gonna spoil it because we're here, but the ending, how Ray essentially that breaks that line with the awful men in all of their lives, essentially. But
Yeah.
that was just me, though, because the
It
second part,
takes
I
her
think,
a minute, but it takes her a minute, but she figures it out.
yeah, I think the second part for me is where it really even drags with my reading. I was just like, okay, I know, I'm sorry. I did. I enjoyed it though.
I
I
ain't
think the
saying
Loris
nothing. I
part.
didn't already said stuff in French that people don't understand. I don't care. I'm
Somebody in
just
the
drinking
chat.
my
Somebody in the
water
chat
and
agree with
being and
me.
staying
Somebody
black. Like said in the book, I'm drinking my water and staying black.
in the chat agree with me. I just, you know what it was? I think the beginning was just so strong for me that I think the Loris portion was just not as great. It was still good. I just don't think it was as great as the Grace part. I think I just really enjoyed Grace's portion.
Mhm.
But if anything within the whole book, which is like consistent, was the writing style, I would read another book from her.
Excellent.
Like I was like, oh, the writing.
Absolutely.
I was like,
Absolutely.
this is the type of writing I love. But yeah, I just don't think the second book was the strongest. So
Hi.
Hey.
I'm Lola.
Look. Okay, look. I'm gonna let you talk, Tiana, because you know me.
No, by all means, Dee, you go. I am so happy that Michael is me today. Go for it.
Okay, now being it's my age, but the second part is so good because you can really feel the time that's changing in the family, and then you feel what it was like with what they're living through, so you get all of the little, like I love the book references, the music references, the food references, the family references. Everything was just so like I was in it. I was in that story, and there was no way you were pulling me out, and I could actually feel and relate to that. And I feel like the second part is really important because Lolo's experience is so tragic and so I don't want to say it was something that categorically happened to a lot of women, but it did happen to a lot of women. This idea of the kid going in, to have a child and then winding up, take the baby away from you, and they take away your reproductive rights as well. So I think it was really important that we saw that, because that's also something that we don't really see in a lot of books either. This idea of the reproductive rights being taken away so much in stories. But I feel like Denene Millner had her finger on the pulse when she was telling this story, because we really do go from one time period to the next, and then the last one it's more modern. But I can tell you the first three parts are probably, for me personally, I was more invested in than the last one, in my opinion. But I didn't hate the last part. I just was more invested in part one and part two. But I realized that you can't have part one and two without part three. You can't have part one and three without two. That don't work. It don't work like that. Okay. Look, it don't work like that. Look at this cover right here. What's this cover telling you now?
Now, Teresa on here says that it threw her for a loop too, but book two is really good. It's just that the book two takes a detour for it. And I think it was also the way that I read. I read like a chapter a day.
How?
That's what she says on there. I kind of
like, how does it take a detour?
It's so different because like we lose, for me, I think losing the aspect of that fantastical, magical realism portion about the dreams and how it's like connecting everything. I think that was like just drastic for me. I read the
But
book.
You realize we would have lost that anyway, right?
Yeah.
We would have lost that anyway. Even if we had more of Grace, we would have lost that anyway because she moved into an environment where it was not
accepted, no longer. Yeah.
But wouldn't she still be able to she'll still be able to have dreams? Her picture shows.
Yeah, but
possibly she wasn't having them.
Struggled to get those dreams back when she
wasn't having them. We were going to lose that.
So
I just love that part.
That's why one is this way.
I just want
to throw
that
in there.
What do you think, Tati? I mean,
okay. So for me, I and Dee Dee and I are on the same page as far as number one, I needed the escapism as I was reading it. And I was able to and when the escapism was needed, I was starting part 2. So I enjoyed parts 1 and 2 more than 3. I still think 3 was good, but 3 felt more, because it was more current. 3 felt more current. And there were a few things that felt like, not, I don't want to say ridiculous, because that leaves less like, oh, it could never happen. My camera angle is just off. But it could, like,
I still can't get over that dude on a bra up under the sink in the bathroom.
I can't. That didn't surprise me at all. That didn't surprise me at all.
Back there.
That he didn't throw it back there. But that's a whole nother. Hold on, we're gonna get to that.
Yeah.
I loved the writing. I loved each story, and I feel what you were saying, and Teresa, what you're saying, Michael and Teresa, about the tone shift between Grace and Lolo. But I think it also does a really good job of showing how, as a culture, we have shifted as Black folk from what our root beliefs were to this is the only thing that's acceptable. Christianity and Jesus are the only things that are acceptable. And so as Grace was being, for lack of a better term, weaned out of that, forced out of that by her asshole cousin, we go to Lolo knee deep, fully committed into what she has come to understand and experience as being a Christian.
Because we have to realize Lauren Hetty is like a product of the migration, you know. So she is hell bent on throwing off all her, as she calls it, her backwoods, you know, culture. And she doesn't want to have anything to do with that. And I think there were a certain amount of Black people who were that way. You know,
even while we're in the area of Virginia that Grace grew up in, you see that people are moving away from it. Even that her mom's moving away from it.
Yeah,
she needed to stay in it because she got the wrong kind of Christian nigga. But Christian purse man's. But but they were moving out of that. What happened with Grace is because her mom was so out there, she spent so much time with her grandma, and that's what her grandma was strong in. I like the connection between like family and community, and there's also a shift in how the community is. I'm sorry, Omalola. How the community is with Grace's, with Mama's community, how when Mama got put in, you know, after Grace's mom is killed and Mama gets put in the clink, the community that promised to help Grace and to, you know, to take care of Grace disappeared. And that is a very present thing that happens in the Black community. But then we switch from Grace to Lolo and we see what it looks like to be upheld by a community. She creates her own community. And then as we move into Ray, we see Ray having that same kind of friendship and connection with her friends. So it's like that building of community and still the importance of that. And then of course, the whole, like, as I was reading this, there were so many books that I was thinking about that fit in this exact same like theme, like a different book for every theme. For the first section where you're having the spiritual journey with Grace and her and Mama, and then
we are on the same. Because the whole time I felt like I've read this before, but this is different.
Yeah, and it's not even I've read this before, but this is another great statement on the importance of understanding the right for a woman to have autonomy of her own body, the right or the
her own money and everything. Yeah.
All of those things, the importance of maintaining, because we get to Ray at the end, and she starts as a child, she starts having these daydreams, which are visions. And that's the count back to Grace, but of course, because she was stolen, Yo, these cousins.
Oh my God, they're trash.
These
Jesus.
cousins, like the men are trash, but even with the men being trash, and before I say this, I despise infidelity. Let me put that out there right
Yeah.
front and center. I despise infidelity. But of the men in this book, the best one is Tommy.
Mm.
The best one is who?
Lolo's husband.
Tommy.
Is he Tommy? Did I
It's
just
Tommy. No, it's
It's
Tommy.
okay. I was like, did I just
Yeah.
screw
No,
up? I'm doing good.
it's
Um,
Tommy.
yeah, Lolo's husband is the best because number one, he was there. Um, and even in, I like the understanding kind of that Lolo brings herself to as she's an adult. I think if she had realized what was happening when she was younger,
Yeah.
it would have been a much more antagonistic situation. But because
Yeah.
she realized that when at that point she's in her 40s and she's, been with this man, it's like the thought. I like going through the thought process that she had, and especially after when all of this happens after somebody dies, what you gonna do with that? What the fuck you gonna
Yeah.
do with that? You know.
Yeah. Yeah. There is a lot of that feeling of loss and regret
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm.
runs through the story a lot, and to the point where there's moments where we feel it too because it's just so like these missed opportunities or these missed moments or this misunderstanding, or not communicating. And the thing is, the part with Lola was so interesting is because we see her be completely abused and taken total advantage of and ruined. So now she can no longer have children. But then we see her grow into being a wife and then into being a mother.
Mm.
And I would say pretty much a mother against really, because she really didn't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, because you can,
we see her
since the,
become a mother, and we see it's not easy becoming a mother. That
because you can,
Especially
role
when you
is,
haven't had one. You haven't. She
yeah,
didn't have one. She
yeah,
didn't. She didn't have any of the care that a child needs
should have, yeah.
at any
No,
point to be
no
able
point.
to feed off of that. So it's like here you have this strong, even though she did not want to do adoption. Well, she wanted to do adoption to shut up Tommy, but she didn't necessarily want to have kids. I think more she didn't want to have kids because she had no choice.
Yeah,
Like
she had no
at
choice.
some
Yeah.
point, and this is speaking as as someone who is up in age and that's not happening. So it's like you have to shift. And she didn't have a
Mhm.
chance to even have the possibility of
No.
having kids because she was 16
mm.
when her womb was stolen. So
Yeah.
it's
And
like
Yeah,
you
there's
can
no
see
you don't
becoming a mother.
have
And
the growth
you
of
don't
her.
have good feelings or thoughts around motherhood
yeah,
when you have that type of experience.
yeah. But that's
There's
like
no
in the first part when we see Bassie. Bassie is more searching for a man to love her than she is searching to
Mm.
love and nurture her own child.
mm-hmm.
So the motherhood thing, it wasn't going to happen there. But
wasn't going to
we,
happen for Grace either. But Grace, no, I think it would have happened
I
for
think
Grace because
Grace
Grace
really
had
she
mama.
wanted
Oh
to be a
yeah,
mother, and I think she would have been a
Yeah,
good
I think
mother.
Grace as a mom would have been beautiful, even
She
as
would
a
have been a
teen.
great mother.
She would have been amazing. And that's for me, that's the one thing. I don't want to say that's the one thing that this story is lacking, but after finishing this story, that is the one thing that's lacking for me. I had an emotional fucking reaction when we got to
Because
the end of the book. I'm hitting my desk. Oh, you got
you
something?
kind of want
Okay.
to know what happens to Grace.
When we get to the end and Ray is starting to understand like the visions and things that she's happening, and we
Mhm.
basically learn that Grace is dead. But
Yeah,
Grace and Lolo are about the same age.
yeah.
That pissed me off. That pissed me off because I want to know what happened. I
Yeah,
want even necessarily to have a meeting between Grace and Ray, but because Grace deserved more as a character in the story.
Yeah, she deserved a little bit more. I agree with that. Yeah, because like literally the last thing you see of Grace is she delivers her baby, she goes to sleep the next morning, her bags are packed, and her shitty old Aunt Hattie throws her out of the house and says, "Get your life," pretty much. And that's how it ends for her.
Everything failed for that heifer. I hope everything failed for her.
That was really tough to read. Really tough to read.
When we were talking about Lolo, I loved how in the second book, and then when he switches to Grace's perspective, you can see how, I guess, motherhood for both of them, like how she viewed, like it was like Ray viewed it very differently, like compared to how we were getting the perspective in book 2. I was like, whoa, okay. And then the relationship with her and her dad compared to
her and her mom.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
And I'm glad that they had that conversation that was on the page, because a lot of times, you know, when kids have those type of emotionally and physically abusive relationships, because that went beyond what we would have considered 1970s, 1980s rearing, like the way that Lolo physically disciplined them, that went beyond. Like she hit them like they was motherfuckers out on the street. But the like Ray's determination to, number one, break the cycle. Like she's much more cajoling with Sky than Lolo was with her, and them having the opportunity to have that conversation, and Lolo not making excuses. Lolo said, I did the best that I can.
Best that I could. Yeah.
Best I could. She didn't say what she did was right. She didn't say what she did was wrong. But I did the best that I could. And a lot of times, that's a conversation that I think would benefit not just between parents and kids, but people, period.
But you know, mamas and daughters don't have that discussion like that.
Mine, shit. My mama and I do. Shit. I was a hell. I had my mom would disagree. That's because my mama don't know everything.
Nah, we're not having that. Not with my mom. I'm not having that discussion. I mean,
and my mom was in no way near, abusive when it came to rearing me. Nowhere near. But I was an asshole, and she had to deal. She had to deal with it, and she dealt with it the best that she could. Nobody prepares you for that, and that's when it's coming from your loins. You pick up a stranger in a crib.
Yeah,
you know nothing about this. You know what?
You know nothing about.
In this child's lineage. So yeah.
And we go back to that part with Lolo and her parenting skills. So let's go to the scene where she picks up the little girl from school, Ray from school, and then the neighbor says to her that one of the ladies at the thing slapped her kid, hit her kid. And she went off, like she went ballistic. So she went over there. So when I was reading that part, I kept thinking, why is this lady hitting on this little girl? Like she's like a little bitty thing. Like what's going on? But then when you get like it was like 100 pages,
I knew something was at that point.
I couldn't figure it out though.
It was off at that point, and it was what was the neighbor's name? I want to call him Finney. I don't know names
or something like that.
Daisy? Which neighbor? Daisy, the white one?
Neighbor, the guy.
He didn't want Ray staying at.
Oh, Skippy?
Skip or something like that.
Skippy? Why I want to say his name start with an anyway, when he blinked, like she was talking to him about it, and about where Ray was going, and like it's described as he did a blink or something, and I was like, oh, there's there's something wrong. And then when she went in there, and it was literally like, if that's the only kid you've seen them hit, like something
No,
is
but
off.
also the reaction of everybody in the place. Everybody got quiet. Didn't nobody do nothing. I was like, oh no, nah, what's going on here?
You know the dirty this man.
I can't remember what his name is. I think it was Skip.
Yeah, it was something with an S.
Or Sam or Skip or something. I don't remember what his name is. Wait.
Yeah.
I probably tapped when she went.
But then when the ending came,
like that bitch, I don't care. They should have let her snack her.
But when the ending came and you could find out that that's
was to reach
that's the second family, I was like, and that's the baby that she was pregnant with is the one that goes off during the funeral. I mean the
repast.
The repast. I was like, oh.
That can I tell you that she walked in a house. She walked in a house and then went around introducing herself as Tommy's.
Yeah, that was too much.
That was a lot, but again, she got the bop her mama should have got.
His name was Skip.
It was Skip. Dang, why do I want to give him an F name?
Page 192. But I like the name that she gave Ray's husband because it was perfect. Roman.
Roman.
He Roman here and Roman there. And Roman everywhere.
Bitch ass motherfucker.
Oh my God. The part that really threw me off with Roman was when she said that she came home and she found him with the magazine.
Yeah, jacking off.
Jacking off. That didn't even. Why did that not faze me? Why did that not? Because in my mind, I'm like, she ain't. What you gotta do?
A grown ass adolescent.
He was a fucking child. He was a child. So, yeah, everything Lolo said about Roman
was right. He had soft hands,
on the head.
Like he hadn't done a lick of work in his life and was never gonna do any. And then he got her.
And to think, I think that's why, like, first of all, again, bitch ass N-word. The whole I went to the park and I wrote. Bullshit. You ain't go to no damn park, right? Sitting outside.
This man got his wife to give up her savings and to go to work and everything.
And at no point
while he is freaking messing around with other women. Like, come on now.
At no point in time when any of their situations changed, her dad died, she, helped with the payment of the funeral. At no fucking time did he say or think, let me get me a part-time gig so I can help out around. So I can help out around the house. Like when she said, this is a house I pay for. I'm not leaving this house. Damn Skip.
But also, you knew there was some up when she said that when he would get out of the bed, he would only make his side of the bed. Who does that?
I didn't realize I was doing it. Bitch, you don't see the rest of this bed over here?
Child, I could not with that. You're making only one side of the damn bed.
I was like, oh, this is some really big and well-written bullshit.
But now, wasn't it great when what's his name showed up? Diego showed up. I was like, okay, Diego.
I think if Diego never showed up, she never would have left.
I don't think she would have left him either.
If Diego never showed up and gave her some kind of experience where she was the focus of attention.
Yeah.
Because Roman was a narcissist. Roman was very much about himself.
Narcissist, selfish, dumb, childish. Do I need to go on?
And probably couldn't write worth a shit. He probably puts a lot as one word too, but Diego actually focused on her and gave directly her attention, and that's what she needed from her husband, and she never would have gotten it. But when she's home 2 days a week and you're home 7 days a week, and the 2 days that she's home, you decide you're gonna go spend 5 hours with your friends. When she's wanting to spend time with you, it'd be different if she didn't give a fuck. She wanted to spend time with you.
She's literally the only one working in and out of the house.
Don't wash no dishes. Don't wash no clothes. She cleaning diapers.
And he didn't even care about the babysitter taking the baby out to go fight with her boyfriend. He was just like, "Oh, it's no big deal."
About the babysitter being due a lunch break.
Yeah.
She's due a lunch break, and a lunch break means that you don't have to fulfill your job.
That means you got to stay home and watch the baby. Damn it! And he was like, "Well, it's fine. She can take the baby. It's okay."
Every day.
He was horrible.
He wasn't truly getting a lunch break because he's at the hook rating, bitch.
I'm not sure what attracted her to him. I can't think it
remember
could be anything other than the fact that he was a good-looking, light-skinned guy, and he was from the upper class.
Yeah, she had that opportunity to actually be with her brother's brother's friend, but in the end, Roman was the first one that got to her before her friend. So that's the only reason why she decided to stay with him.
Because even when he proposed, she wasn't sure. Well, I think, bitch, if a butt or anything in there, the answer is no.
Yeah, she wasn't sure, but she would have thought that because she started noticing things. She just wasn't doing anything about it. Like she was just sort of letting these things, sort of happen. Okay. Like she'd be too tired to have sex, and he would just lay there, baby. I'll take care of everything. What? I don't know. I didn't like anything about him. I mean, I think it was a lot like when Lolo said, when she shook his hand and said his hand, he had soft hands, and he just looked like he would just be useless. I said, yeah, she probably right, because she know how to read. That time I was like, yeah, Lola probably right. She know how to read people.
And the soft hands. Right. It was the soft hands, and what it made me think about was, I don't know if y'all watched King of the Hill.
Soft, clammy hands.
Yeah, but when Hank Hill met supposedly the first George Bush, and he went to shake his hand, and his hand was like limp. His handshake was limp. That's what I thought. He has this whole conflict as the presidential candidate for the Republicans.
I can see that.
Because he had a weak handshake. And that's the first thing that I thought about when she mentioned Roman's soft hands. And coming from her background, I mean, why you guys like you can have, oh, this is gonna sound real ugly. I'm sorry, y'all. You can get your nails taken care of, get your manicure, all of that, but I want a little callus.
Callus on the hands.
I want a little tactile callus. Like, no, like what is it like when he rub your ass? It's like you rubbing your ass. Like how? No.
Okay, let's get back to this affair business. How did y'all take it when you realized that TJ was being taken by Tommy to go see this other family?
Oh,
I was so pissed off when I was so mad.
I was pissed at Tommy. I was pissed at the both of them.
Tommy is selfish though. He's like selfish.
They all are.
He wouldn't do anything around the house. He would do stuff wrong. He would get his ass beat and he wouldn't care. And he would just keep doing the same shit over and over again. And it's like, who does that? But then when he said, I knew because daddy was taking me, I was like, oh no, you not.
And then he moves the whole family.
Yeah.
I was like,
Daddy was took me the fuck out.
Yeah.
And yeah, that and then like what regard, because you have two completely different, another story that I would be interested in hearing more about. What does Tommy's relationship story look like? Is like how was he handling relationships? How does he view his parents' marriage, since he was the one who knew about the affair? Like how does he view that?
Well, he also seemed very hell bent on his woman not working. He was very hell bent on that, on her staying at home with the kids and not working.
Yeah.
So that made me think, oh, this is something he's actually seen. This is obviously what
He
he
saw
thinks.
but he also saw his mama whoop his ass all the time.
Exactly. But
I'm going to hell. Part of me thinks he has like, because I think he liked to get it. I think he liked that attention from his mama. Getting like I think he did things knowing he was going to get in trouble because he got that attention from his mama.
yeah, maybe.
I
Yeah.
really think that, because outside of that, and there was nothing else as he got older. Like when he was a baby, there was a lot of doting on him and
Yeah.
cutesy cutesy with him by Lolo. But as he got older and you're becoming a man, you spend less time with your mama. So how can I get
Yeah. How
attention
can I get her attention?
attention from my mama that's just directed to me? I can learn how to take a fucking hit. That's
But
now
I
that
feel
I
also
would want to
she
fight
didn't
somebody
get a
else.
lot. Neither one of them very much attention though.
Say that again.
At one point, because she would go to work and she would just come home and would get her food and she would go in her room and she would
Go with her,
shut the
close
door.
the door.
So she was like, out of sight, out of mind. Them kids, get on with
Because
y'all, what y'all got to get on with. I ain't doing no X, Y, and so
Tommy had that, but he had his out in the open. When he had his alone, like alone or away time, he was out in the open. He was watching, the game. His friends would come over. Her friends didn't come, well, because her friends weren't there. Her friends weren't in Jersey. So there were a lot of things. When she had, I hate that but a lot of times that's how it happens too. When she had the break, when she went to go lay down in the creek behind the house, that conversation needed to be had. Like he needed to understand, and then to again back to the infidelity, to find out that the only reason why y'all really moved was because he didn't want you and the bitch he was fucking
find out about
find out about each other. That's the reason why you moved. That's the reason why you spent all of those years miserable and away from your community and your friends and your church relationships that he wanted to keep his dick safe.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sorry.
Yeah, it was. And then you're gonna bring your son along with you so you can just instill in him to have two families.
Where did TJ go? If you taking him with you when you go see Bettina, you just taking him with you and y'all not fucking no more. What's TJ doing while y'all fucking?
He's probably in the car.
Sitting in the car. This sound like that show Love is Blind. That's what that black dude's daddy was doing, taking him when his daddy was, with another woman. He was taking the son with him. That's the same thing.
I don't watch.
I don't watch
Love is Blind. That's what he was saying. I'm like, Lord Jesus. And on top of it, that revelation came on camera and the mama didn't know. Yeah, like
what?
It was awful. And the daddy was wearing his Alpha Phi Alpha shirt at the same time. Okay.
I've only watched the first season.
Yes.
Anything about this.
It was a mess.
Damn.
Yeah. Cheating men.
Damn.
Yeah, it was damn. Yeah, it was damn. So we agreed which parts we liked best. We all really liked part one the best for sure. And I think we all felt like the magical realism part of, the dreams and things that felt that was done really well. I felt like
I
that was
thought
done super
I thought that was really cool because the writing style really brought it to life. I was like in my head thinking or seeing it as it was happening. I was like, oh my God, this is
yeah,
like, this is so cool.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
she equates it to watching the television.
Television. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh my
I
God,
think
that's
that
like
is so cool.
perfect.
Yeah.
A good parallel, but also it was interesting because
She called it moving
I
pictures.
had a really good. You know what? I had a really
Moving
hard
pictures,
time
watching television. Yeah.
I had a really hard time reminding myself of what time Grace and Mama were in.
Mm,
Like what the
mm.
years that they were, because
It's
they
so,
seem
it's so,
it's so secluded.
1965 and
yeah,
1969.
She walked it does
that is, yep. Because
it
it's,
just, and it was things like, because when the guy came to help Grace get out, he
mhm.
picked her up in a buggy, like he picked her up in a carriage.
Yeah,
So
because
Yeah.
it's the country.
Yeah, I thought
right,
so
yes,
too. That's what I was
exactly.
thinking.
Country.
But then it kind of reminds you that shit, people are still alive that experienced
Yes,
that. Yeah,
yes,
that's
yes.
crazy. Because like even the things downtown where I live, you could still see that like this is recent.
Well, it's not that far. It's not that far away. I mean, I was born in
Yeah,
'66. I'm 57. I mean, I'm like the
Oh,
product
shit
of
me.
the the civil rights movement.
yeah,
So I mean, it's not that old, and that's what that I feel like that right there is something that a lot of Americans in general
don't
they're like not
realize it.
realizing that was 50 something years ago. That's
Yeah,
very
that's
recent.
very
Yeah,
recent.
It's recent.
yeah.
Like, don't act
One
like it's
trick
like,
that
oh,
people,
so long
the reason why
ago.
people think of that is also because the pictures are in black and white. So in their head, they're thinking that was really old back then.
Mhm,
But it's like,
mhm,
it's very recent.
mhm.
Well, yeah, Tommy knew because he said that. He said, "Yeah, I
No, no, no,
knew."
no, 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 no. TJ, the son. So he knows. So I'm okay. I may have missed that or forgotten it. He knows that they're adopted because, and I say that because Lady said Ray kept her adoption a secret. So I'm wondering, because
Oh,
she found out she was
Mm.
adopted through looking
oh,
through
now
their
that's true. I don't
papers.
know. They didn't. They weren't very clear on saying if
They,
TJ knew he
right,
was
they weren't
adopted.
clear. Yeah, I see.
No,
Lady said she
Yeah.
knew. I didn't think he knew. But
I don't
then
think he knew
also
either.
going like, when you and put yourself, fuck him, but put yourself in Tommy's position. He's having this extramarital affair. Why? Um,
Mm.
why? But he's having this extramarital affair and thinking that he can't get caught because he can't have kids. Bitch gets pregnant. You're taking your son with you on these visits to bitch and her 2 kids. At no point during these times are you having those mulling conversations, because y'all live, it's a 3-hour drive from Jersey, right? 2 or 3-hour drive. At no point
Yeah.
in time in this going back and forth are you having those mulling conversations in your brain out loud that you have in the car when you're thinking about shit, and the incredulity of finding out, oh, I can have kids. Why did my wife, why did Lolo lie to me? All this time I've been thinking I couldn't have kids, and I can't, like, at no point in time did that mulling conversation happen.
With TJ, probably not.
Yeah, with TJ in the
Probably not. He probably didn't say it. I think he was probably very shocked when she said, "I'm pregnant and it's yours."
but then he won't,
And
and then
then
he
when
went
he
back
realized,
for another
oh,
bit.
yeah, exactly. When he realized, well, they say it in the beginning. Lolo says it in the beginning. Black men, she said, black men want to know that they can spread their seed everywhere. They're
Yep.
not going to be happy with raising somebody else's child. So not surprising. If he could have, he would have had a third one with him. He didn't get caught. I
I
mean,
legit thought when it gets to the end of her book, I thought she died for real.
So who died?
Dolores,
died?
when she has her
Oh, when she had that heart, I thought she was gone.
Yeah, I thought she
was
died.
gonna
I was
die
like,
too.
oh,
thought she was gone, and the
I'm like,
level
oh,
of
this gonna be too
yeah,
tragic.
I started speed reading because I just needed to know that she was alive. Like this is I speed read because I needed to know that she was alive, and then I went back and reread what I speed read because I didn't want to like jump ahead just to see if her name show up.
Mhm.
But what I didn't like about that part was when when Ray realized that nobody was really telling her anything, that everybody seemed to be keeping everything away from
Everybody
her.
knew except her.
Yeah, I just felt like that was awful.
Mm-hmm.
It was just mean, ridiculous, and inconsiderate. They were just like not
But it's
telling
all
her,
the
and they
flaw,
had no really good reason
the
not
flaw
to tell her
in
anything.
right, but it's the flaw in family. It's the
Mhm.
flaw in there's always some family secret that at some
Yeah,
point comes to life. There's always
for
some
sure,
family secret.
for sure. So that was, but it's in tragic incidents where these things come out. Sadly,
Hmm.
there she
I'm
was
so
worried
glad.
about her
I'm
mom, and then
so
her daddy
glad
didn't gone and
all
got
of
hit
her.
by, had a car accident and gotten killed.
And like the succession of the events happening at the same time.
Yeah, it was a
Mm.
lot of
That
things.
they basically happened at the same. She had a heart attack. The next day he was dead.
Yeah, 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 and
And I
like
really like the description. I want to know because I didn't read all of the and I want to know if she like talked to somebody who'd had a heart attack because the description of what Lola was feeling as it was happening was so
happening. Yeah,
it was so good. And I was like,
yeah,
there's no way that you just made up like the thoughts that are going through her mind as she's feeling
mhm.
this feeling like she can't breathe, like everything in her has stopped, but everything around her hasn't. And that like
Hasn't. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. She did a really good job with that. That, and she also did a really good job with the birth as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The
With
the
both
connection of
births, the
all.
birth, yeah, of Ray, of
A break the sky.
and Sky. Yeah, she did a really good job on those births. Very well described.
I like
And
that
that
the
whole
theme of
birthing
blood
thing
is.
I thought was
Oh,
interesting. The reason
I like.
why they gave the baby the prick on the foot to test if the kid had drugs in
Mhm.
their system and all that.
Mm-hmm.
That
Oh
whole
Mhm.
my
thing
gosh.
was just infuriating.
Yeah.
But it shows that it's this time period where, you know, black people are not, black people can't imagine black people with money and being, because they had paid for a
And don't
private
even
room and
say
everything.
that time period. Don't even say
Mm.
that time period. This was post 99. It's not that
Doesn't
time.
matter. Doesn't
Right.
matter.
That's
There's
what
there.
I'm saying. It was
Yeah,
now. Like
yeah,
it wasn't
yeah,
that long. It was not that long
yeah.
ago. What,
Still
20
still
years.
thinking that black people can't have money
20 years.
and that
But
all black people are addicts, and like, come on now.
if you're black and you're young and you're having a baby, you can't have a husband. This your
But
husband. You're
that's your
married.
husband. Yeah,
Like
that's crazy. But yeah, that was
you paid
infuriating.
for a room. You can pay for a room,
For a room, and that's your husband.
a private one. Like the fact that the nurses could not believe and they had to have their paperwork. If they didn't
Yeah,
have their paperwork on
yeah.
them,
They
they
would have
would have
never
been
gotten a
fucked.
private room.
They would have never gotten their private room.
Nope.
And the hospital would have kept their money.
Yeah, yeah.
I
She
like
had a
the
lot of
theme of
good
blood
things in here.
everywhere. Y'all notice that?
Yeah.
What?
The use of blood everywhere. Like
Yeah,
there's blood
and
during the
water,
birth,
and water.
period, water. When she goes to the acupuncture,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the discussion about blood on there, her blood clot. I was like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Blood was definitely. I mean, it ain't called one blood for nothing.
Right. Just it's Grace's bloodline.
Hmm.
Technically, Lolo doesn't have one.
And so
Oh,
who's in the front? Who's on the
horrible.
front of the? Who's this?
I think that's Sky
I think that's Sky as well. And in
Mm.
the back is Grace, Mama,
and Lolo. I
and
mean, not
Lolo.
Lolo, and not Lolo. Ray.
Ray.
Ray. Yeah. Yeah, that's I think as well.
Yeah, this is such a gorgeous cover. Like I remember Dee, remember what back in 2015, 2016 when we were having our bitching conversations about how shitty the covers on black books were and how they
Yeah,
were
they were
just
bad.
like
They really
why
were.
couldn't black books get the attention that a lot of the white written YA books got as far as covers went? And boy, have we come
Yeah.
up.
This is a beautiful cover.
This is so pretty. And she's gorgeous. I don't know whose kid this is, but she's gorgeous.
Wait, let me get mine.
Okay. Yeah, Teresa, I am planning to ask my mom about that, but I know that it was a common thing. I don't know that every time it was done, they were checking for drugs because you don't have to prick the foot I mean, it may be the
No, but they
easiest
do
and least
something where they
painful,
pick the
but
foot, but it's to test something else.
yeah, they
Or
do
something
get
else.
a
Oh.
blood sample, but it's not just for that. So the fact that was what was stated. Also, it was very interesting with Ray's birth story because I have someone that I know who moved south after living in New York, and she had two of her kids in New York and her final kid here down south, and to her sharing the completely different experience of having a kid in a New York hospital versus a hospital here. And
Yeah.
between level of care, the way this nursing staff and the doctors treated her, she literally said that for her second kid, they treated her like she was going to steal her own kid from the hospital. Like, he's my kid, he needs a pity. And they were trying not to give her kid, like she had to go to the nursery.
Mm.
She had to go to the
Wow.
nursery. Yeah, so like that was because in my mind I immediately said that's like because I haven't heard of that, like a whole ward where you put all the black women who have had kids that you think don't have, or not the people of color who have had kids that you think don't have the resources or are junkies. Like, you just put them on, shove them all in one room. Everybody gets a bed with the little curtain that goes around. I'm just like, is this the difference? Is this the difference? Because this wasn't long ago.
Yeah. Okay, we didn't
Has
talk
she?
about the beginning. We didn't talk about Mama.
We did not. And I
What
love
happened to
Mama.
Mama? So
But
the fact that
Mama
Mama was
making the
just the
decision.
local midwife, but she was just sort of treated. She was just tolerated, but she out here
She was
delivering all
what?
these babies. I think she was just tolerated. You know, she
I
wasn't.
don't think she was tolerated. She was a certified midwife. So she
Yeah, she's
had like
certified, but I mean, the way the people treated her was not
Oh.
like they just like was like, okay, come and deliver my baby kind of thing. But like
That's
they
because
didn't
they
really
was
want to see
white.
her black face, you know, kind of thing. But there was nobody else getting ready to deliver their baby.
Because they
you
was
know?
poor. That's because they was poor and white.
Poor,
She had
poor white
she had
trash. Okay,
more
so
respect. Yeah, she had more
did
respect
you
from
know,
the.
you probably figured it out when you were reading it when the woman was looking anxious when the baby came. Yeah, I was like, oh Lord, here we go.
I knew when she told the husband to basically go have sex with your wife to help move this process along.
Yeah, and he was like, I ain't doing nothing.
And she's like, you did it with your other kids. That's when I knew, oh, we about to have a brown baby come out of that white bag. That's
what I knew as well. He was like, nah, we're not doing that. He didn't even want her to bury the placenta at the base of the tree. He's like, nah, burn that shit.
Burn it. But the rest of them have been here. We're not keeping it.
Yeah, no, not this one.
He immediately knew. He immediately knew. And I would love to understand why she lied. Because it's not like y'all done had, how many they had, like
3 or
almost
4
10
kids.
kids? No,
Yeah.
it sounded like they had more than that. Was it just?
I think they.
When she
it was
talked
5.
about all of them in the kitchen.
I think there was 5 of them in the kitchen.
Okay, 5 kids. Five kids. Like, dude.
Yeah. And that last one came out and had them little tips of the ears was a little brown. I like, oh Lord.
So why did you lie when you see what the siblings look like? Why did you lie? Why did you agree? I wonder, and it's like I want to know the why, and then I want to know, like the Choose Your Own Adventure books. I wish we had a storyline where she lied, a storyline where she didn't, just to see what ended up with Grace at the end. Like, why did she lie? That's the part that I. Why was she so beholden to this woman?
She had no choice. If she put that the baby was white, they would know it was a lie. If she put it was a Negro, then they would be mad at her because they would blame her that it was a Negro. And it's like, bruh, it ain't my fault that the baby's Negro.
I don't think that they would have blamed her. Or maybe
they did blame her. They threw her in fucking jail because of it.
Right, but because they wanted to throw her in jail, but she lied. It's like you lied on you lied on the baby's birth certificate.
Look,
basically.
Like, what's she gonna do?
She was between a rock and a hard place. She was between a rock and a hard place.
Like if she lies, and what if she would have put the baby was a Negro? What you think they would have done to her then?
I want to know. I don't know. They would have been.
They would have thrown her ass in jail for that too.
They would have. Or lynched her, or just lynched her straight.
Or lynched her on the spot. I mean, come on now.
And Grace would not have had.
That woman had no way. That woman should have taken one look at her and said, "No, I can't deliver this baby. I'm busy. Get the fuck out of there," because that was just God.
The reason why she was put in jail, Alba, is because she said that lady whose baby who had an affair with the black man. She said that lady baby was white on the birth certificate.
Yeah. That's why I said she's between a rock and a hard place. She lied and said it was white, and they knew that it wasn't. But then if she would have put it was a Negro, then he would have been mad about that too. So there was nothing Mama could do except escape, if possible.
And she couldn't do that.
There was no other.
Oh, that was
so mad. I'm so
the
mad
way that the mom died, Grace's mom. I was like, oh my God, that's really awful. But then also the way that
she beat her to death.
Yeah, the way the pictures show her when she sees it in the vision. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
that was some quality writing right there.
It was. I
said, oh, this is real good.
But you never you see, you have the difference of that type of vision experience between, or not between, but with Grace versus with Ray. When Ray has the vision of Lolo laying face down in the creek, her response is, I want to take swimming lessons. Mommy, don't go to the creek. Like, just stay up here with us. When it because she really doesn't understand what's happening. When it happens with Grace, Grace understands what is happening and knows that she can't change it. That, and like, Grace has such a heart. I'm so mad she's dead. I'm so mad she's dead. She had such a difficult experience. And they all did, but she's the baby. She's the baby. We leave Grace at 16 or 15.
15, yeah.
We leave Grace.
Okay, I got a question for you about Mr. Aaron. Okay, Mr. Aaron was the man who had Grace escape.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
So this is the question. Mr. Aaron employs bravery, defiance, and strength to stave off terror and destruction meted out by white neighbors against the black citizens of Rose. Actions that counter the historical narrative that black men either suffered under the Jim Crow South or met its violence and peaceful resistance. Why was he able to get away with his version of defiance?
You mean because he helped her?
Yeah, but how is he? How? So the thing is, that whole scene, well, before that scene, what really was disturbing to me was how the entire town left Grace
Was
to
on
her
a
own
witch hunt
devices.
for.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't talking to her. They weren't checking on her. They weren't leaving her food. That little girl was on her own
Mm-hmm.
for the longest time, and then that's when
And
Mr.
then
Aaron
and
stood
then
up
they
and
came,
said,
and then they were basically hunting for her.
exactly. So the question is, why do we think he was able to do that?
But I think number one, because he was not a fixture in the community, because it was something that he'd done before. He had a plan. So because he wasn't a fixture in the community, when it's somebody that's just coming to visit and they carry out business, he's carrying out all of his business as usual. They're not paying attention to this black man because the business that he's carrying out feeds them, and he leaves and goes on about his business. So they're not paying attention. But I think him not being a member of that community, him not being someone who lived there, he was just there every once in a while.
Yeah. So he's not really somebody that they're looking for particularly, or following, or know the habits of that person, of him.
Mm-hmm. Boy, that was so early on in the book.
Yeah,
that's page 4. It's page 41.
Yeah, I know, because we didn't talk about that.
Well, 41. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question about it. Wow. Okay, here we go. Grace loses her ability to see into the future and connect with the dead when her physical bond with Mama is broken. Why do you think it went away? Why do you think she was able to get it back while in labor?
Probably
it's true. It's when she's in labor. Yeah.
It's probably like a connection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like a connection with her bloodline. Yep. So she can, everything's rushing in all at once, and once that comes in, like her power she can see everything.
And she delivered that baby all by herself.
At 15.
Like a chef.
All by herself. And I'm just like, at 15.
Grace did that.
And cleaned up.
Mm-hmm. Grace did that.
That's why I think that is a portion of the second part where with Grace, since when Grace's aunt takes away the baby, it's similar to when when they're at the hospital and they take away her baby.
Mm-hmm.
And so like you have two, basically the same thing happening within this bloodline, but one aunt's completely different.
Ray gets her baby back.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were holding on to...
Yeah.
That's why I was scared when Ray got her baby taken away from her. Because I was like, if it's similar to the other one, if it's similar to Grace, then something's gonna happen bad.
Yeah.
The book had a lot of bad things happening, and I was like, "Oh, this is a lot." So can Tommy,
it was done,
can Tommy
was
have
done.
a secret family and still be a good man? Jesus. Did I ask the question, the killer question? Can Tommy still be a good man with a secret family? Can he still be a good man with it, even though he's got a secret family?
I'm gonna go with A.
That's really difficult.
No,
for
it's not.
me, that is the ultimate thing.
No. It's a no. It's
like,
a
this
no.
is a no, ma'am. Like, there is nothing good in having a secret family.
No, you're not. No, just no. Just
Did you notice
are
that
there
with
any men? Men are gonna watch this afterwards and be like, "You bitches don't know what you're talking about." Like, by all means, tell me how
This
you can
bitch only
be
want one
a
family. Thank you.
whole
This
and
bitch only
have a
want
whole
one.
ass family that you supported and going to see clandestinely with your son in fucking tow. Explain, because the ones who are gonna have a problem with it are the ones who are doing it. So please explain.
it's
Oh
also like
yeah,
when you
Albert
notice
said that
both
Mr. Aaron Late was working in tracks
On
for
the
the road.
for the
railroad, yeah.
railroad.
So he wasn't
Well, that gives him
essential.
some freedom.
He would leave. He would leave for extended periods of time because that was the extent of being an on the road contractor, basically.
Did y'all notice that Tommy and who's the last boy?
His best friend.
No,
His
Tommy
best friend.
and no,
Roman?
Ray's husband,
Roman.
Roman. Did you notice that when they both try to make their excuses, they try to like tit for tat?
Gaslight their wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
noticed
was like,
that. They're gaslighters.
he was like, I had a secret family because you told me, you lied to me. I was like,
You lied to me.
That doesn't
You
mean
lied
anything.
to me first. Okay, and that's the two wrongs don't make a right,
was like-
grown ass motherfucker. Like, confront me about me
Yeah.
lying.
I was like,
Confront me about me lying, but you can't
Yeah, but
confront
the
me
thing
about,
is,
about me
you would have
lying
never even
without
gone
you
down
fucking
that
somebody
road
else.
if he wasn't having sex with somebody else. It would have never happened.
You
Yeah,
would
they
have
were
been
both
ignorant and
gaslighters.
blissful. And then again, to support my commenting that Rome, I need y'all to see. Hold on, where is that sticky note? To support my comment,
while you look for that,
Roman being,
is this her second book or like her first book?
I don't know,
No,
but
she's
if she's
written
gotten
many
another
books.
one, I'm
It's like
buying it. I don't know what it is. Does she have another one?
she's
The
written
one-
like
the-
15 books or something.
The one genre I think she would excel
Yeah.
at is romance
It
because
says it in the back of the book.
I didn't read the back. I read the book. The
It
fuck?
says it in the acknowledgments.
And I only read the first, like, up till we got to the end of her experience in the acknowledgments, because I'm always the one who's missing shit when it comes to that. Where is that?
She's written something like 15.
I don't know if y'all can see that.
She's written screenplays and stuff too.
it says she has written more than 30 books.
Yeah, see, there you go.
I'm gonna look this up.
How are we just okay? So is this Leonard Pitts Jr. with the chick, basically?
She's written a lot of screenplays
My
too.
sticky note in here, it says, why do they need a babysitter when Roman is at home? Why isn't Roman's bitch ass making dinner? He ain't writing all damn day. Why isn't there a lounge for her to pump in at a place that's like MTV in 1999?
No, I loved hearing about Soul Train and Stacey Lattisaw and all
I
the
was
music.
extremely
Loved it.
extremely irritated that they had somebody working in that industry. I don't give a fuck what color you are. You don't know who Donny Hathaway is.
Oh my
Like,
God, that was annoying. It's so
have a
annoying.
whole ass seat. Because if you ain't seen shit else, you seen Beetlejuice.
Yeah, I know. Come on now.
Wait, what did she say? Why did she say that on her Goodreads page?
Mm-hmm.
Why is Dreamgirls under her? She wrote Dreamgirls?
No.
She's written a lot of screenplays and things. Like she did the one that was really popular. What was that one? Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man.
Oh, she did that
think-
screenplay?
I think she did that one, yeah.
Oh, wow.
She's done things like that. So you should have to Google her name and you'll see some.
Yeah, I'm on her. Her website is gorgeous.
Okay, Alba said, frankly, it read like a romance, especially at the end.
Yes,
I don't know.
and I
read
think
romance.
that's why I don't agree that it read like a romance through the whole story. I do agree that the end read like a romance, and that's one of the reasons
maybe.
why I didn't care for it as much. Hi, Tin Man. One of the reasons I didn't care for it as much because there was more focus on Roman, and Roman was such a bitch. Like,
Yeah.
I would have loved to have, no, Tommy wasn't a good man, but Tommy was a
Yeah, but
dad, and
he was
Tommy
a
was
good
the
dad,
husband.
pretty
He
much.
was better. He was better than Roman. I would have loved to have more interactions with Tommy and Ray than Roman and Ray. Like, fuck Roman. Roman's a bitch. Roman can suck himself and go away. He's a bitch. I can't.
Well, I feel like Lolo got him together when he came back, banging the door, trying to act like a big old man, and
The
she shut
way
up.
that and you know what
Like,
what was
you better
so funny
not
to
touch
me?
my daughter.
No. I'm sorry. I wanted him to hit her so that she could southpaw the fuck out of his jaw. I wanted him to come at her and make her doubt her safety so she could southpaw him like she southpawed Tashira.
Yeah.
I was like,
He probably
do it.
doesn't know she can do that.
And then here came Lolo and his little bitch ass. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna do anything. Oh,
Okay, let's talk about the role that water plays in this book.
okay.
And the significance of that for Lolo, Ray, and Grace. So the main one we talked about, which is the one when Lolo lays down in the river,
Goes to take a river nap. I'm sorry.
and Daisy has to pull out. The
Mm.
white lady next door has to pull out. And then the second time where it was really important was when Lolo gets baptized, which I thought was very moving. The way it was described, her baptism, because you
I
could
love
really,
the way her baptism was described.
it was really beautiful because you could really
Yeah.
see that she was this is what she needed, and it was filling her up, and and when they put her back, it's like the scene is water, when her head goes back into the water. That scene I thought was just wonderful.
And then Ray's dream, where she actually meets who she doesn't know is her mom, but Ray's dream when she meets Grace and they're in
The
that
water.
creek, and Grace is telling her how to maneuver around to the soft. That it was so good. It was so good.
See,
It was so good.
that's the thing about the book that's so beautiful, is all of these little pocketed, beautifully written scenes, very moving scenes.
And then
that makes it so
with
special.
Mama, it was her preparing.
Yeah.
It was her preparing for the birth. It was her
The
preparing
birth, yeah.
for her daughter's death. Because wasn't there a scene when they were at the creek when? Hold on, I'm trying to find it.
This is at the very beginning.
After Basie's death.
Are you talking about like when let's see. Maybe y'all can expand it on me. What was the point of introducing us to the neighbor in Lolo's chapter?
The only point is because she's the one who was pulling her out. And
that was probably why.
But also, no. Hold on. There was a time too where Ray was going next door. They went next door.
Yeah.
Like when Lolo had her moments of depression, when she would lock herself in the room and lock the door so that the kids couldn't get in after school. When that happened, they went next door to Daisy's. And I found that interesting that they went next door to Daisy's and didn't go across the street.
Across the street.
And she did not. How did she build the community that she had with Cindy and Sarah and the third chick? Was it just because they were neighbors? Because there was none of that when they moved to Jersey. When they moved to Jersey, she had one interaction with that Black single mom neighbor, and she was like, I can't, my liver. I don't know if it was like my liver
can't take this. No, I mean, that lady was drinking at like 10 o'clock in the morning, and she didn't stop the rest of the day. I mean, I think it might have even been 9 o'clock. I mean,
it was early, so it's like you drink all day until your kids come home.
She said her story started at 1, so they was probably drinking at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, and she still got she still got home long enough to catch General Hospital. She missed the first one,
Yeah.
but she caught General Hospital. Oh, jeez.
Ay, ay, ay.
Who
I'm
is
trying to
bullying
think.
fuss for that?
The water in this that scene with Mama and the delivery is the only water that popped out for me that was pretty
Okay. I don't know why there's something in my, or maybe it's the preparation of Basie's when when they're going through the preparation of Basie's body.
yeah.
Maybe that is
Maybe
what.
that as well. You're probably right about that.
Was it also raining during that time? Probably. Like I thought it was storming. Maybe I added that in my mind when I was reading it when she was delivering the baby.
I think we both added some atmosphere.
But it was also giving me like Mama Day vibes. But that's probably because of the
Oh yeah. Okay.
the
Yeah,
thunder.
I didn't think about that. Mama
Thank
Day
you.
vibes. Yeah. Okay.
But then it also was like giving me Toni Morrison Beloved vibes. So, but they're all especially with water. So.
And I like this Mama. I like this version. That's a whole other conversation. Mama Day didn't sit well for me. I didn't enjoy it. But yeah, I like Mama Day. She would be king. Take my hand. There were so many books that were like going through my head as I was reading it, of books that I have read. Go ahead, Mike.
The one book that really compared this to me was The Swells. Who was it written by?
I have not read The Swell.
And it's the same instance where I thought the beginning was exceptional. I was like, oh, 5 stars. Then the book switches and it goes downhill from there. Let me look it up.
Will Aiken.
Oh, hold on. I'll look it up.
Oh, you said don't pick it up. Well, let me stop looking for.
No, I mean, let me look it up. Let me look it up.
Already.
What is it called? It was like, God, the cover is blowing in my mind. It has water everywhere, and then there's like a person in the middle.
Okay, no, there's a boat in the middle of this. All right.
Hold on. I'll look it up. I got y'all.
Thank y'all.
All right, I can't think of any other water scenes. I was trying to think if there was maybe another one in Lolo's section, or maybe was there one in Ray's section about water?
Outside of the dream, no, not that I can remember.
Yeah, I can't think. I can only think of that.
Outside of that dream.
I think a lot of the use of water is interesting because then when in just like in a difference, because like usually in books like this it's supposed to like be giving life and whatnot, and so I thought it was interesting for Dolores when her water scene came up, it didn't mean life for her,
right? It meant take away as opposed to bringing in. Yeah,
but it meant
but
life.
when it happens with Ray, it's both, because Ray has had the vision and then experiences the freedom of it. It's like the precursor of her moving into a different understanding of herself.
But the life is when she's getting baptized, but the death is when she,
I keep forgetting about that. That's gorgeous.
Let's see if I don't have another question to throw this one.
Yeah, I do not remember what this book is called. I remember Water is in the Front. What is it called? And it was a very popular book. Everyone kept talking about it, and then I read it, and I was like, okay, nobody said that the second portion of this is not good.
Were they talking about it before was it the water dance? Like was it like the water dancer where everybody was talking about it beforehand, and then it was radio silence after that shit came out?
Now, one of my favorite books with water, where it's big water themes in it, is Gathering of Waters by Bernice L. McFadden.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I read that so long ago.
And you want some good water themes?
Oh, it's been
Yeah.
so long since I
I
read
need
that.
to. I was like, I need to reread that. The Warmest December, Ida B and Camilla's
Ooh, you got to get your
Roses.
mind right. Warmest December. Ugh,
Oh, I've already
gotta
read
get your
it.
mind right.
I've read The Warmest December a long time ago. That's I want to say I read that before I read Sugar
Yeah, no, I think I
for the
read Sugar
first time.
first.
No, Sugar came out first, but I don't think I read Sugar first. I think I read The Warmest
Yeah,
December
no, I
first.
read Sugar first, and then it was,
Oh, you say
I
you
don't know
read
what
it.
year that was. Was it 2016 or 17? I decided to read all of hers.
And that's what when I
And I
get my
read them
readings for
all
that.
except for that one called something Amos something
Something
or
what?
other. It has Amos in the title.
Finding Amos.
Oh, Finding Amos.
Yeah,
That's the
I couldn't
jazz one,
find
I
that
think.
book.
Mhm.
I couldn't find,
Really?
could not find it. So that was the only one I didn't read. I read everything else though. Okay.
Oh,
got
you know
through-
another thing that I got that was so heavy in the book, and it pissed me off that Tommy didn't pick up on it at all. Lolo's hypervigilance in protecting Ray around men.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. I was like, "Are you really that
Tommy
dense?"
didn't pick up on any of
So dense.
that, and at no point, and
No.
that's like them being in, like, y'all are with each other every day, y'all are raising these kids together, and at
Yeah.
no point did you ask,
No, he didn't care about that.
why are you so, like, what has happened that makes, and of course, generations, time frames, mental thought, like how things work in the brain, those conversations probably would not have been had back then anyway.
No, but he should have been. He should have been sort of. That should have given him some kind of a clue that
Mhm.
something that happened to his wife, or
Found
somebody
him.
that his wife knew, or something, which would make
Yeah,
him be like, "Why are you so,
like
paranoid about it?"
with Ray, with him sending Ray next door
Yeah.
so he can have a few.
But he
I'm just
like said, "Well, I know him. I know Skip." And then I was thinking, yeah, but a lot of women and little girls are raped by people they know.
how people you know, like, knowing
Yeah,
them doesn't
statistically,
mean
it's
that
higher
they're
rate.
not a rapist or molester. Like, it's
They're not raped
though
by.
it,
They're not
that's
normally raped by complete strangers. It's usually by people they know and their
right.
family members. So I was
Right.
like, I don't know
That
what you're
and
talking
that
about.
was that was Lolo's experience.
I think
That
that's
was her
also
experience.
showing how Tommy is like not one of
Oblivious.
those men that's hyper vigilant or very aware. It's kind
Right.
of scary.
I don't even
But
think you need to put hyper in there, just vigilant, period. His
yeah, well,
response,
no, that wasn't
his
him.
response when Lolo was mad about the chick at the daycare
He didn't
hitting
think that was bad either. He
Ray
was like, "Oh, it's no big
was,
deal."
you hit them all the time. They my kids. The fuck you mean? Like,
Yeah,
they mine. I raised them.
but
I
even
reared
but
them.
even if she didn't hit her kids, you would think that he would react to a complete stranger hitting his kid. He didn't
You know what his
react.
reaction was? You know what his reaction was to a complete stranger hitting his kid? Fucking her again and having another kid.
Exactly.
Okay, I found a book. I found it.
Okay, what is it?
It's called It's the Furrows. I was thinking Swells,
Oh,
but
the
it's the Furrow.
furrows.
I have seen the furrows.
Yeah,
I
it's
have
this
not
book
read
right
the
here.
Oh,
furrows
wait,
yet.
so don't. Oh, I remember. Didn't we talk about this in a video?
The book, the beginning is excellent. I was like, oh, I'm
We
all
talked
in. I
about
thought it
this
was
in a
like 6
video.
stars.
Yeah.
I was like, this is incredible.
And then you got to the second.
Then the perspective changed, and I was like, what is this? This is a whole completely different author. This is not the same. This can't be. Because how much did I rate this? I couldn't have
Yeah,
rated
the
this
thing
very
is, when
well.
you change, when the author
I gave it 2.5, 5 stars.
changes like that, it can sometimes throw you off.
Damn.
That's why I didn't like Silver Sparrow that much.
Mm.
The first part is excellent. The second part, I don't care about the other family.
Yeah.
The little girl from the other family, I don't care about her. But the whole second part is on her, and
I don't know what made. I don't know.
I
I
didn't
kind
like
of
it.
and I'm not. I kind of went because I didn't have. I remember us talking about that at some point. I don't know if it was through a Friday reads or just a conversation that we had
Yeah.
had after a book chat, and I didn't dislike it, but I think too that was like the first book that I had read by Tayari. So I was giving, like, I was trying to get into and understand the flow,
I think
Mm.
that
like
was the
feel the
first
flow
book I
of the
read by her as
author.
well, with Silver Sparrow.
That's the
And
first book you read
then
by her.
after that, I read An American Marriage, and I was like, oh, I can definitely see a change of writing here. This is
Mhm.
wow. Okay, she's really moved
Yeah.
on, with her writing. But nah, with the second half of that Silver Sparrow, the second half was just like it was a no man for me.
Mhm.
But I feel like this is also risky, with books, is that when you want to change perspective, sometimes it can be great and sometimes it can be problematic. This one, it works because
Mhm.
we're talking about the generations here.
Yeah, and it
So
comes and it wraps back around. I think it makes the difference when you have a book that's like this, that it wraps back around, and that's kind of um what happens with, like, in She Would Be King. And I think what the reason why that keeps popping out at me is because of the spiritual aspect, with
yeah,
the first short story that we have. But it's like, or Crick Crack. Crick Crack is another example of those connected short stories where you're reading one, and then
Mm.
by the time you finish, you realize that they are all, like, all
Connected.
of these, they're all connected. The
yeah,
characters are all connected in some way, shape, or form, and it makes it a full short story collection. I think this is a very good job of making this story. This book is a very good example of taking it on a novel basis and making a
yeah,
well-rounded full story with three different characters. I just want
yeah.
more Grace. I just want
Did
more
Crick
Grace.
was Crick Crack the one with the baby that had that story of the baby? That's one of my favorite Dandy Cat stories. Is the one with the
Because
baby.
stories, I think
It's a
the
short story
story with the
where
baby.
um
What story?
without spoiling anything, something happens to a baby, and I was like, oh my god, this is good.
Hold on, check the private
I
chat.
think
Check
that
the
is
private,
Quick
because
Crack
all
that
three
has
of
that
us
one.
have
It's
read
been a
it.
minute since I've read that one,
I read
but I
so
think
much of her
so.
works.
Check the private chat in here.
Mm, I think it was. I think it
Okay,
was.
then
Yeah.
yes.
Yes,
Okay,
it
Okay.
was. It
Oh, that was
was.
a good story.
okay.
Yeah. Because there were so many stories in there. I was like, oh, this is the one with the baby.
Yeah, and
That's the one thing
as
I
soon as
remember. I was
you
like,
as soon as you went to go take one, I was like, let me dissect all of these stories that I have put
Yeah, it
together in my
was.
brain.
Yeah.
oh my god. I was like, oh, this is really good.
Yeah.
Crick Crack is really
like-
good. If you haven't,
I
if
was
you
like,
guys
I'm in.
haven't read Crick Crack,
I was like, I am
Please.
read that one.
in.
It's really good.
It is excellent, and I am not a short story collection reader. Like,
Me neither. But I like Crick
it
Crack.
is not my thing. But when I tell y'all, I
No.
read that year. I read What It Means When a Man Falls from the Sky, Crick Crack, Whatever Happened to Interracial Love, Before You Suffocate Your Own Fool Self.
Oh, Before You Suffocate
And
Your Own Fool Self. Yeah, that one is a real
it's
good one
really,
too.
I did not like What Happened to Interracial Love, but What It Means When a Man Falls from the Sky and Crick
Yeah, I
Crack
read Interracial
completely
Love. I
changed.
thought it was okay. It was okay.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it at
Oh
all.
my god. I just realized I read a lot of Edwin Dandicat's books.
Duh.
I haven't read
Oh my
enough.
1, 2, 3,
I need to
4,
read
5,
more.
6. I read 6 of her books.
And you edit your videos. All I did was watch them.
Oh my god. She wrote a lot, but golly, that's probably why I'm getting it confused because a lot of this. Oh my
And
god.
who did IET?
No, that's Roxane Gay.
That's Roxane Gay.
Roxane Gay.
Mm.
Because that's another one of the ones where you
IET
did
is
the
good though
videos
too.
as you were going through the short stories, and
Yeah.
that made me want to pick that up. So that's on my list. I just haven't
Yeah.
picked it up yet. But yeah, starting my short story journey as an adult with Crick Crack and What It Means When a Man Falls from the Sky, phenomenal. From somebody who.
Okay, so I have to ask the question, the dreaded question. What are you rating One Blood?
Michael, you go
Michael.
first.
I gave it 3.5 on my Bookly app. I shall round it up on Goodreads for 4. 3.5. I don't know, y'all.
I'm gonna
3.5 is
remain
good.
silent.
It took me 10 hours to read this book. See,
I
It took
didn't
me
even
10
track mine. Well, I need to go back and add in my reading sessions
long
because
did it
my
take me
reading
to
has
read
been
it?
so sporadic.
it took me 10 hours to read it,
It took me.
and I finished this morning. So,
I finished last night. I was scared I wasn't gonna be able to be here.
I knew I knew I was gonna. I was like, oh, if I just
took me
read for
12
1 hour,
hours.
I'll be done.
It
How
took me
long?
12 hours, 4 minutes, and 59 seconds.
Okay. I think I may be in between the two of you once I tally up my sessions, because I need to add in my sessions, because I was doing a lot of reading, like sitting outside, and I didn't take my phone with me on purpose.
So for me, I think I think it's a good book. I just, you know what it might be also, the way that I read like I was trying to read like so I won't be too finished early, because the beginning I was like, okay, I need to take this slow because I'm really enjoying it. So I'm thinking in my head, I need to read this 1 chapter a day. And so I started it, but then at one point I was like, when I get to Dolores, reading it 1 chapter a day, I don't think that helped.
No.
I think I should have read that
You should have read it
quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I read Dolores.
I read mine over 3 days. 3 days.
Oh God. Okay, see, how many chapters are there? Yeah, so see, that's why I was in my head. There's 33 chapters.
And Dolores' section is long. It didn't take me 2 sittings.
Yeah.
It took me 3.
Because I was like, oh.
It took me 3 sittings to get through her section.
Oh, see, I read it like 1 a day. Because I didn't want to read it too
fast. You literally
fast.
did a chat. Oh, got you.
I didn't want to read it too fast because I was in my head, I'm thinking, I don't want to forget stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, in the way my brain works, I was going to forget names anyway, and I did better with names this time.
Well, the names weren't too bad this time.
The names weren't too bad, yeah.
Yeah, there were really only 6 that we needed to keep track of.
There's only, exactly. There's only.
I mean, the last time we had a discussion, it was Edward P. Jones. You realize how many names were in that book?
And there were a lot of.
Oh, that was like crazy, and a lot of names.
What did y'all think about the time jumps and how the stories go back and forth? I didn't mind that as much.
I didn't mind it
either.
Yeah.
The only thing that I wish is that there was some, like in some of them, there were, like it was one where it jumped back to summertime one year in Lolo's section, I think. And the actual year was given. I wish that happened more, because like it was difficult. It may have been in Ray's section. It was difficult for me to keep track of how old Scott was.
Oh yeah, because they kept giving you hints though here and there, you know.
Yeah, but the hints didn't make any sense when she wasn't a year old at one section.
In the
like
beginning,
I was like, this bitch ain't 3 yet.
She's 9 months in one of the sessions. It says she's 9 months, and then later on, they say, it was when she was breastfeeding. That's when they say she's 9 months.
No, they said she was 8 months, because
8 months.
Because they were like 8 months. That baby almost a year old, and she's still, and that's my
that baby is too old to be breastfeeding or whatever. That was a clear indication of her age. But that was kind of like in the middle of the section, if I'm not mistaken.
It's when she leaves to go. I don't know why it seems so out of time to me. When she goes to live with her mom after she discovers the bra, that's when we get that story. And I don't know if it's because all of them were there, all of her mom's friends were there, or what, but it just seems so out of time from Sky asking for chips at the table.
Oh, okay.
That was during the same time.
At the table, when was that?
When Ray left to go stay with Lolo after she found the bra. It's the exact same.
So she was like maybe 8 months, 8.5 months. Well, I mean, Are the chips already on the table?
Yes, they were on the table, and she was like, "Chips,
Then
mama,"
that
or
could
something
happen.
like that. Yeah,
That
no.
could
I'm not
happen.
saying that it could. I'm not saying that it couldn't happen, but it just see. And again, we're getting it from Ray's perspective, and mamas for the most part know what their kids be saying. Those of us who don't belong to them, we be fucking confused. But, but yeah, it seemed like it seemed like the breastfeeding interaction was further back than them sitting at the table about to have the discussion about what she's going to do with Roman, with her relationship with Roman and stuff. It didn't seem like they were in the same time space.
Yeah,
for me.
I guess also it's because, you know, like the scenes with Sky are more or less they are kind of like growth scenes, I guess you could say.
Mhm.
Because you're hearing the things that she says. Because it was at one point, oh, that was towards the end of the section when she tells her to take her paper and go in the other room or whatever.
Yeah.
She's 5 then because she's at school.
Right.
You know, but I like the way they showed how Ray was, you know, sticking up for her daughter, you know, when the stupid counselor told her that she couldn't apply for the thing. And then my heart just went down when she said she took that quarter and put it in the machine. Girl, I felt old. I felt old.
And call Lolo. Yeah, Lolo came.
I can remember when you used to have those coin machines in the street, you know. Call her mom was like, they don't want me to do it. And she hobbled her ass over there and tore that woman a new one.
No. That was with
Right.
That was okay. So the counselor was Ray and Lolo coming to the school because the counselor wouldn't allow her paperwork.
Wouldn't let her fill out the papers for the
principal so she could get a scholarship, apply for a scholarship.
She could get a scholarship. So her mom came.
Right. So Ray hobbling was when Sky's teacher allowed her to sit by herself.
Yeah, but she was at home sick that day. When she hobbled out of bed.
Oh yeah, when she hobbled, absolutely.
Yeah, she was sick or something. She hobbled her ass out of bed and went over there, and I don't know what she told that woman because we don't hear what she says, but we can only imagine. And she walked out and she had all the papers under her arms. I was like, "You better work, baby." Yeah, she did it right. That's when I could see Lolo in her.
Yeah,
I could see Lolo in her at that point.
Yeah, and that's really cool. One of the things that I really liked about Lolo's relationship. I wish we had seen, and I know the focus on this is with the chicks, but like if Lolo advocated for her like that, then she had to advocate for TJ in some situations where it came to school, and because they would have had the exact same experience. We didn't see that. Right, we didn't. That's what I'm saying. But that's where we truly get to see Lolo as a mom, and with making the macaroni and cheese. And
the guy she should have gotten with is Marquise. That's what she should have gotten with.
Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, somebody should have told her taking the available P ain't always what you want to do, boo. Just because he asked for, you can have him hold on. He can wait. You can say hold. You can say I don't know. He literally asked her, and this is the narcissist. He literally asked her to move in with him after he came to see her, knowing that she had been out with another dude the night before.
Yeah,
and he saw like what she looked like after going out with Marquise the night before. That's what made him say, "Hey, move in with me."
Yeah, that's crazy.
I like the part where they have fun times, her and Diego. I was like, oh, this is written.
Diego, honey.
I was like, this is written really well.
It's written.
Come on, the black Dominican. Come on, the black.
I was like, oh, this is
What the heck?
Okay. I was like, you do it.
They had 2 Dominicans in there. They had the Dominican at work, which was
Nima.
Yeah, and then they had the black Dominican, Diego. Fine. fine.
Diego, she needed Diego. And I stand. She needed somebody who gave a fuck. I just wish that she had gotten rid of Roman's ass earlier, because then
Yeah, I know.
it wouldn't have been. Because at that point, once you do that, you're both cheaters. Like, and yes, you're on equal footing as far as the relationship goes, but you're both cheaters.
But what
So
she should have realized right from the beginning is that she was doing all of the work. So if you're doing all of the work, why are you with this person? Be on your own.
And it's like my whole and people don't write stories about people like me, and I get it. My whole thing was, if I am 6 months, 7 months pregnant, and you come to me and talk about quitting your job, you can do whatever the fuck you want after you pack your bags, because I'm not gonna be the only bitch working in this house.
Working, and then she winds up doing everything in the house as well. So she ain't doing nothing.
Everything. You go to work.
He at home supposedly writing.
You cook. And it's like, she didn't have the older kids, but I have to think that at some point she understood why it was so important to Lolo to at least have the chicken going when she got home from work, because even having Ray do that little bit as a teenager took some weight off of what Lolo had to do when she got home from work. And
old boy can only make half a bed. Come on now. Ugh. You can only make half a bed.
You can make half a bed. You can have half of some other stuff. You can have half a nut. You can have half a dinner. You can have
I can't with that. That was just ugh. All right. So what you rating it? Tatiana,
yeah, what you rating it, Tati?
Come on now. I'm invested. I am invested. It's a 5 for me.
It's a 5 for me too.
I was vacillating between 4 and 5, but I am so invested in these characters, and my distrust.
I said it was a 5 when I was on page 40.
I thought so too.
That's when Mr. Aaron came in.
I thought so too.
For page
literally,
40,
I was on page 40, and I was like,
this
is a 5.
Yeah.
Now I don't know. I said if she disappoints me later, it's a 4.5 or a 4, and I'm like, no, it's a 5.
I was concerned again because I didn't like part 3 as much as I liked the other 2 parts.
No, I didn't either, but I still felt
reading
it was valuable.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It was valuable. Mm-hmm. It's part of the story. You can't not have it there. Like.
Latrice, hold on. Latrice said, dang, page 40 though. Y'all don't be listening to Dee when she talk about DNF in books. Like, she calls her books at very early on, and if it does not pass the buck, it passes out. Like it's done.
That's just how I operate. I'm old now, so I can't afford to be wasting my time on stuff that ain't working for me, because I got a lot of books I want to read. I know I won't read everything, but a lot of books I want to read. So when I'm feeling it, I'm feeling it. When I'm not feeling it, I'm not feeling it. So it is.
Do you have any idea?
I can be like on page 40 and say, okay, I'm not really feeling this, but I'll read a bit more, at least to page 1, especially if it's a 400-page book.
Yeah, I'll give it
100 to really see. If by 100, 120, you ain't grab my ass, I'm out. Sorry, I'm out.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Do you have an idea of what we'll be reading in October?
Yes, I do.
Oh, let me go downstairs. Wait. My book is downstairs.
I have it right here. Okay, so in October, because it's Black History Month in the UK, we will be reading The Secret Diaries of Charles Ignatius Sancho.
Oh, I was not privy to this.
By Patterson Joseph.
What is it?
Patterson Joseph. Okay,
can you write it in the chat?
I'm doing it
Charles
now.
Ignatius Sancho is a real person, so this is fictionalized story of his life.
Hold on, I'm gonna run and go get mine. Let me turn my camera off.
This edition is the Dialogue Books edition, which they did a great job on this book.
Oh, the cover is pretty.
Look at the inside pages.
Oh, that's pretty. Oh, that's real pretty.
So it looks like that, and it's just black. Um, this particular edition has a bookmark in it as well.
Ooh. Oh, the U.S. cover looks different.
I'm sure it does.
Oh, it's pretty too.
This British cover.
This is real nice.
So this is the story. It says 1746, and Georgian London is not a safe place for a young black man, especially one who has escaped slavery. After the twinkling lights in the Fleet Street coffee shops are blown out and the great houses have closed their doors for the night, Sancho must dodge slave catchers and worse. The man he hoped would help, a kindly duke who taught him to write, is dying. Sancho is desperate and utterly alone. So how does Charles Ignatius Sancho meet the king, write and play highly acclaimed music, become the first black person to vote in Britain, and lead the fight to end slavery? It's time for him to tell a story, one that begins on a tempestuous Atlantic Ocean and ends in the very center of London life. And through it all, he must ask, born amongst death, how much can you achieve in one short life?
I'm not gonna lie.
No.
The first line of this that says for fans of Bridgerton.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I'm
know, I
in.
love that.
Look at that.
Oh, I'm
So I
in.
thought this would be really
Look at
good
that.
because it's written by a black British man, and we don't do that many
It's
books
so
by men. And it would be interesting to read about Charles Ignatius Sancho, who was a real person. So a little bit of historical fiction. So this is what we're going to be
yes.
reading in October. Grab your copies. Hope you will join in.
And I can't remember if I think I got mine because I like your cover much more than the US cover. And the US cover is pretty, but I like this cover.
What's
better
the
and
US
also
cover
how
look
it
like?
feels. I think I got mine from
Oh.
what's the oh my gosh, the one that you have
What's
the
the
link
what?
for,
What link?
that you have the affiliate link for.
Oh,
in
my
your-
my Blackwell's.
Blackwell. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where I got it from, Blackwell's.
Okay, you clicked my link. Thank
I
you.
did.
Oh,
It's the
okay.
American.
Yeah.
It's
All
very
right.
pretty.
The
It's not
US
bad,
cover
but I
is
like
pretty,
it.
but
Yeah,
Yeah, I like
it's
mine.
really
it just
pretty.
looks like it feels less.
Because
Mm.
this is
I'm gonna get this
18th
version. I really
century.
like this one.
This is giving me 18th century all this,
Yeah.
Kind of giving me the 18th century feel. And especially that, the inside, the end pages are just amazing.
You ain't close to Joe bad,
So
dog.
this is what we will be reading. So I hope, and it's not very long either. It's only, let's see.
It's 432 pages.
I was gonna say it's as long as one book.
It's long as this book.
No, mine is 411 pages.
Oh.
This is very long.
Mine is for well, there's an afterword, so no,
It's super short.
that is
It's
okay,
not.
so-
Yeah, that's not long.
Hold
y'all.
on, wait. Let's acknowledge this change in Deirdre. Because 400 to 500 pages was not short for you.
No, I'm not saying it's short, but it ain't long.
Okay. What color is your bookmark? Mine is green. Is yours green too?
Mine is green too.
Okay.
Little green one right there.
Just curious.
yeah.
I always wonder if they put different. I think that would be a nice, touch for books that come with bookmarks. Give them different color bookmarks.
Yeah,
You just-
they should. More of
whichever
them
way you
should come with
go.
bookmarks. I don't know why they're so stingy with
should.
that idea. They could do it more.
They could.
So that's what we'll be reading in October. I hope you enjoyed the discussion. Like One Blood is fantastic.
It's so good. It's so good. And I
Fantastic.
encourage you, even if you listen or watch this and you got all the spoilers, and I thought I had ripped my cover that easily. I just put it back on today. I encourage, because we talk about everything that happens in this book. I encourage you to read it. It's such a
Absolutely. Definitely read it. 5
So
stars.
good. Yeah. 3.5 for Michael.
Yeah.
Which is still good.
It is. It's still,
That's still good.
Look, I need y'all to understand. I am enjoying, because I will never forget me coming in when we discussed Freeman, and both of y'all were like, "What?" I'm so glad.
Well, usually it's y'all against me.
Mm.
I'm usually the ones like, oh, it's 4 stars. And y'all like, nah, it's 3.
No, normally you and Michael are like, if you say the y'all are close, like y'all are one away from each other. So if you say 5, Michael's 4. If you say 4, Michael's like 3.5, and I'm the one that's like 3, 4 stars. 4 stars. So this is great.
Well, I think the last one where we were really like, the 3 of us were on par was the one we read in July. What was that one called? It was,
so many books.
And both of us are like,
I can't remember. It's the one, what was it? Freaking book
oh
called?
my gosh, I don't remember.
By her last name was Jacqueline Crook. Crooks.
Oh, a fire, something fire.
Yeah, the
Something fire. Something
Fire.
fire.
Fire Rush.
Yeah,
Fire
there we go.
Fire Rush. I think we're all pretty much on with that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
gave it a
yeah.
3 because the writing was really good, but the storyline was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And
we
the
had
writing
the
was real
same,
good.
the issues that we had with the storylines were pretty much
Yeah, we
the
had
same.
similar issues.
We were really
We were
on
like,
board for that.
what is this? Yeah. But yeah, no, this one was an excellent read. Denene Millner knocked it out of the park. I would have, hailed this book in the beginning when it came out. It came out last year, in maybe January or something. I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay.
But it came out last year, and I just don't remember a lot of people saying they really like this book or been posting about this book. Fire Rush. That's it. Fire Rush.
Yeah, I had never seen.
One Bud.
Before
I
hadn't seen it.
The only reason why I know about it is because the Sario for Denene Millner invited me and a bunch of other people on a Zoom call where she talked about the book.
Okay.
So, and she talked about being adopted and not knowing and finding it in her parents' paperwork and stuff like that. And that was kind of like a catalyst for her writing this book. And so I was thinking, this is going to be great. It's going to be everywhere. People are gonna post this. Yeah, I didn't see that many people post it. So I didn't
see anything about it until you sent it to me. I was like, oh, this is new.
So I didn't
you get your copy of 54 Miles?
No, I don't have my copy yet.
I'm sorry.
It's coming.
But I'm sorry.
It's coming. Because we can't get it here in Europe at the moment. In England, it's not coming out until like September or something. It's coming out later.
Okay, well that kind of works, because I'm not gonna read it right away, so that kind of works.
But I'm not reading it right away.
Trash? What was trash? Latrice, what was trash?
I think she's referring to Fire Rush.
Okay.
Fire Rush and trash, but because her writing is really good.
54 Miles just yet, and you do not besmirch Mr. Pitts.
Yeah, no, I don't want to hear nothing bad about it. So anyway, I'm just glad we got a chance to read it together, and maybe some people got on it because we were reading it, and that's just as good. So hopefully more people will see this and want to read it.
And if
you
are interested in reading books that are like along the same lines with dealing with lineage, Black lineage, disparities in the Black community as far as healthcare and women's rights goes, there are others there, and I'm going to space on all of the authors' names, but there's She Would Be King, there's
Some Sing, Some Cry.
Some Sing, Some Cry, which I need to still read and I forgot.
Which is Into Silky Shange.
Yeah, there's Take My Hand, done by Dolan Perkins Valdez. Man, I should have written out a list. I had a whole like list from books that I have read. A Long Way from Home by Connie Briscoe. That is a very good lineage
There's also
story.
love songs of W.B. Du Bois as well.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So there are a lot of books. If you enjoy this book, there are a lot of books. There are a lot of Black stories that are that are along the same vein that don't get a lot of attention because they're backlist books. By all means, you ain't gotta buy them. Go to the library. That matters too.
Yeah.
So pick them up.
Yeah. Okay, guys, that's it.
Yay!
This has been a pleasure as
so
usual.
Thanks for coming.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh.